Hello everybody and welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a comic book discussion series where we take 3 titles and then unite them under a theme and then determine which one is the good, the bad, or the ugly, if any of them apply. And if they're particularly bad, we stick them in the wrong box, which is like a long box, but for the books whose names we do not dare speak.
It's really a short box.
It is quite short, actually.
So far. I hope it doesn't grow much.
Yeah, there's only 2
Well, I mean,
items
like
in the wrong
that's
box.
the type of box, though.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's true. I'm Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
Today our theme is little-known X-teams.
Or little remembered X teams.
Yeah.
Or
alternate reality timelines.
Or short-run X-teams.
Or why are there so many X teams?
Right, exactly. Because actually all the titles here either have 4 or 6 issues and that's it before the book is over.
Cool.
Like XSE, number 1.
Stands for Xavier Security Enforcers.
Gambit and the X-ternals, number 1. And X-Nation 2099. You can tell it's 2099 because of this sweet foil cover.
And it says it on the cover.
Also the title, yeah. So let's jump into it. The first title we're going to talk about is Xavier Security Enforcers, and of course I could think of no one better than Ben to tell us more about this team, if you will.
Yeah.
So please regale us with at least what took place in XSE number 1.
So, in XSE number 1, your main characters are going to be Bishop and his sister Shard.
His hologram sister.
That's
Shard.
right. Here are these 2 characters, right?
Yep.
And they're related. It's Bishop and his sister. Oh, but his sister is dead, though. It's actually a hologram.
But like she's thinking and has all the memories of Shard.
So it's really, like, for all intents and purposes, it's his sister.
It's an AI, I guess?
Right, because it can make choices and have feelings.
But like can phase through everything.
Yes.
And I guess can't hold anything.
As opposed to we just made his sister have those powers. Like, why didn't we just make his sister a phaser?
The bizarre part about this is that I knew his sister was dead.
Right.
I did not know she was a hologram this whole
But
time.
I didn't know she was also a hologram.
So I saw this other person, I figured she was from another dimension,
Oh,
maybe.
yeah, that makes sense. That's a fair assessment to make.
Hologram.
It makes a lot more sense as to what's going to happen later on in the book that I was very confused about.
It's not the Bishop you all remember from the animated series where he's got the mullet, he's got some kind of jacket.
And the harmonica.
And the harmonica solo. It's simply just Bishop in a weird ass, like, it's so off the beaten path, it's become generic because everything is like that. Everything has dumb shoulder pads.
But here's the amazing part that I love design-wise. Those boots have a giant grip on the top, like a handle, so
you
to
can put
pull
them
them on.
on.
Otherwise, you're going to get your leg stuck in those things, and it's really a
It
pain.
actually makes more sense than most of the boots on the X teams.
Dude.
Gambit's boots, for example.
I just never think about them ever taking their clothes off.
That's true.
Like that's it.
Well, they walk around and they say such ridiculous things, even when they're dealing with like groceries or interpersonal drama.
And
they're
you
still
never
wearing
know
these full costumes.
when they're going to get attacked.
Not
Yeah.
right, exactly. They have to be ready for anything.
Yeah.
So we start off this book with Bishop and Shard, or the hologram, formerly known as Shard, in the danger room. And they're in the danger room in the Xavier Institute.
Yep.
Training new X-Men, apparently. Being a part of them. Which is funny because this book is called the XSE, the Xavier Security Enforcers.
Right, which is not the X-Men.
Not the X-Men whatsoever.
And if you were reading X-Men at this time, you probably didn't bump into most of these characters.
You're also a little confused because apparently they've gone back in time and they're with the X-Men currently.
Well, I mean, that's
So this
kind
is
of
the
just...
future.
That's Bishop's MO.
I was going to say, like, that didn't, like, I was just like, of course he is. Because
Yeah.
Bishop is from the future that he never spends any time in. Because once he went back in time, he was just like, you know what's better than the future?
Anything else, particularly the past.
They also drop a little science on this page for you. They're like, the danger room, which was provided, of course, are based off of
The
Shi'ar,
Shi'ar.
like, tech. And I was like, why are you teaching me about this in this book?
Right. Well, yeah. Well,
Okay.
just in case you're only a hardcore XSE reader.
Right?
Yeah, I've never picked up an X-Men book in my life, but this XSE, this has me hooked.
Exactly.
And, like, maybe does that ever come into play in this book?
What?
Like, later on?
Oh, the fact that it's from the
mentioning
Shi'ar? No!
I was like,
And Bishop brings up a memory from the future, which is their past.
Right.
He like uses the danger room like the holodeck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or like a photo album.
Because he's just like, I'm working on this new danger room program, and instead of it being honestly anything that's dangerous, it's just
It's
like
just their memories. It's a flashback
it's
generator.
just Bishop working through some things. Like,
and forcing his non-sister to do it too.
So the second he does this entire book becomes a flashback to the future.
Yes, a flash forward, if you
also,
will.
like, check out like Bishop, not Bishop.
Yeah, that is Bishop's outfit.
That really
Yeah.
threw me off because I was like,
I thought that was Bishop. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yay, he's got the long hair, and he's got the M. And what's happening?
And
apparently that's Trace or
Yeah.
Tracer?
Yeah. Well, because like they were like, I thought they.
And I'll take either name.
I didn't think they had gone back as far as they had in his memories. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool.
Right,
what?
maybe it's a flashback to like young Bishop. No.
Yeah, who had like a totally different costume. All right, right on. They're like,
But still giant X's everywhere.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely. Branding.
yeah.
So you see this character, Virago, who apparently can vibrate and shatter things, being tracked by future members of the XSE, who are already a team at this point. We come to the future, they're already a team. It's not like
Right.
we see them being formed.
And it's even a memory of what happens from the future. So you'd think the XSE is a team that we form now. Like,
Yeah.
let's watch Bishop form his new XSE. No, we're watching a flashback to the XSE.
Yeah.
It's like this whole book is just a flashback book that tells you about the glory days or what will become the XSE.
And I like the term flash forward because
yeah.
this isn't all in the future. We're remembering or seeing the future.
Right,
that
we're,
already
we're
happened.
seeing the future, but it's Bishop's past, so it's a flashback for him, it's a flash forward for us, and inevitably, we're going to get a little flash forward or flashback within it.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah,
we've
concentric flashes.
gone too deep. Where is the kick, and how do I get out of here?
Yeah.
Gotta wait for that song, man.
Ah.
And this is a comic book, there ain't no music. This mutant, Virago, picks up a random mutant and is gonna kill her if the XSE doesn't back off. And this person that she picks up is Shard.
Yes.
Because we see a very young Bishop tackle her in a second. He must be like, I'm guessing 12 at that
Yeah.
point.
Right, and this is the point where you realize, oh, that guy wasn't Bishop.
No.
And you're really disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's like
he
Indiana
still has
Jones
short
3. You
Yeah.
know, like he sees what he wants to look like one day.
I
That guy
guess.
inspired him.
He's just like, man.
Even though there's no interaction between those two characters. But yeah, so Virago's gonna kill Shard and Bishop.
Yep. And Bishop tackles Virago, knocks Shard out of the way. Virago throws him to the ground. He's like, you just got me killed by the XSE. And then a character called Sure Shot shoots her in the back and kills her.
Right.
With her
So-
big, stupid gun.
What? That she holds in one hand, that would be impossible for anyone to hold.
And in that position,
They all have that mutant power.
in her like what?
She's got to show off the butt and
You
the
have to understand,
boobs and the gun.
she's sitting on apparently an invisible chair.
Right? She always does squats.
Yeah.
She's
in them
Her
right now.
thighs are solid steel.
Yep.
They've been replaced by robot legs,
Yeah.
obviously.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
That would explain it better.
So Virago is taken care of. We skip past this 2-page baseball ad.
You're a boy reading a comic book. You probably like baseball cards.
There you go. And we see we have Bishop and Shard talking about this moment in their past,
Yeah.
even though it's
That we
only
just
one of
saw.
their pasts because she's a
Hologram.
holograph.
But it's hers too, because she has all the memories of Shard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she's like, and she even it breaks the fourth wall a little bit where she's like, why are you showing me all these things that I don't remember?
And he's like, I wanted to remember this because, like, this was a time when I had to protect you, and, like, now we're part of the X-Men. And she's like, the X-Men? You want us to be part of the X-Men? I want to be part of my own team. You can't. You're just a hologram.
well, she
Yeah.
doesn't. She doesn't want to be just Bishop's little sister.
Right, because the whole book is basically just a greatest hits album for
We're getting
Bishop
there.
to,
Oh, yeah.
well, to try and convince Shard to join the X-Men with him. That's why they're in the danger room in the first place.
Yeah.
Which
So-
I mean, she's a hologram, so it's like she doesn't really have a choice.
Well, she does have free will or whatever. It's actually easier if you don't think of her as a hologram.
Because like, what's,
Because like, she's,
where is she being generated from? What if I turn that off?
Also,
Yeah.
what does she do? Like, it doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, just count her as a person.
Yeah, Shard's here.
Because that's what I did when I read it, because I didn't realize.
Exactly. And didn't affect the story one way or the other.
So we see a flash forward. Good lord.
No, it's a flashback for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're
For
they
him,
have a
it's
flashback.
fine.
Yeah.
And this is all being projected in the danger room. He's like, computer, play these sequences. So we're seeing it happen. Like, they're watching this, which
Yeah.
is really weird.
It's a clip show.
Meanwhile, the other like people are like,
Are we gonna fight them too? Are we gonna take lunch?
what do we?
Hey, do you mind? This is my personal history and past. Get out of here. You
We
weren't
were
here.
all in here first.
You told us to be here.
Yeah, we're training. I
Well,
guess to be your therapist,
Well,
apparently.
I need 5. Do you mind?
Please.
Smoke them if you got 'em.
Yeah, take as much time as you need, Bish.
Which she calls him that. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
guess that works as a short name.
Okay, you Bish.
Swish,
Jesus, Bish.
swish, bish.
And we see Shard and Bishop's grandmother, who
Is it
looks like a really
is
old
it
Storm.
Storm?
Yep, it looks like her.
They
But
met.
she has the M, but I guess that's just because of the concentration camps in the future.
Bingo.
We never find out who she is, at least not in this issue.
No.
Um,
Just Wikipedia.
She's
Just Google it.
like she's just in charge of them. She's trying to instill the idea that Xavier had a dream that humans and mutants can live together in peace and that they need to work towards that, even in the society that they're in now.
Yeah.
And Hancock is there.
Not the Will Smith superhero.
Nope.
No.
Just some other guy.
There's some guy named
Not
Hancock.
John either.
No. No, not the dude who took up all the space on the document.
And we flash back to another scene where their grandmother's dying, and on her deathbed, she's like, promise me that you'll take care of Shard.
Right. Shard's like, oh, that's dirty pool, bish. What are you doing, man? Like, just because you promised our dying grandmother you'd take care of me doesn't mean that I shouldn't join, like, X Factor.
Or do other things, or have my own life. You can't protect me your whole life.
Yeah.
You can't do that to anyone. You can only try your best.
In fact, you didn't, because I'm dead.
Exactly. And he's just like, and even though I promised this, it didn't matter, because you ended up dying anyway. He's like, I didn't do a very good job of keeping my word. And Shard just gets really upset with them, and you see the point where they are brought into XSE. And all of these mutants are brought in, young mutants who have to learn about their powers. Bishop is the only ones who have manifested so far.
Yeah, and they also, like, I think the idea was that they closed all the concentration camps, because if you join the XSE, you get a mutant, like, tattoo.
You get a tattoo of an M over your right eye, and that's your badge of honor.
Which looks like the brand you get if you were part of the concentration camp.
They took it and they're like,
we're gonna own it.
We're gonna change the meaning of it. So
I cannot think of something more horrific.
how is that gonna help you tell who's in the XSE or not? You have all these other people out there with the same tattoo.
Maybe it's also a little bit symbolic where they're like, you're all future members of the XSE if we free you from these concentration camps. Because the other thing is, they also want to curtail the whole, like, stamping thing, because they're like, we're going to stop the branding from the concentration camps. And that's, like, their first mission. Is like, we're going to stop them from branding. I guess so that they can curtail the whole tattoo, not tattoo thing.
They're like,
They're
no,
like,
that's
okay, we owned it's like changing your company's name to something that has, like, a very small social media presence, and then you got to quash that small social media presence. So they're like, all right, we're doing the eye thing. It's going to be a tattoo. I know it looks like, and it is in honor of the branding from the concentration camps. We're also aware that there still are concentration camps that do the branding, so we're going to stop them from doing it, so that when you get a new tattoo of the M, there'll be no mistaking it. You got it from being a member of the XSE.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Bishop also gets to keep his,
so does Shard.
And so does Shard, because, like, they earned their badges or whatever. So
because they were in the camps.
All the old members also are branded.
Yes.
It's not like they're tattooed.
No.
Right.
No, it's...
But Shard takes a personal liking to the leader of the XSE, if I recall.
Yes, Hecate.
Yeah.
Who is a mutant
with
some kind of, like, null force dark power.
At first I was like, Domino? No.
People need to be working together, whether you're mutant or whether you're human, and how some of the mutants that were released from the concentration camps are still holding a grudge and are attacking humans, and the XSE has decided that in order to keep mutant kind's status good with humanity and all that kind of stuff.
Like, hey, we're okay.
Instead of the whole world, like, erupting in civil war constantly.
Yeah.
Like, the XSE is going to be on the lookout for mutants that are attacking people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be the police force for renegade mutants.
Yeah. And it'll look really bad, but, like, it's better than the alternative.
But it's totally cool. But this is that part in the book where we're in the flashback, and then we get a flashback in that flashback.
By the way, you should have been the thing about the whole domino confusion, and, like, did they screw up or not? That does come into play, because when you first meet Hecate or whatever, she doesn't have an M tattoo, but then in a later pages she does.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind whenever you're reading your comics from the 90s. Sometimes it's a deliberate decision by the artist.
Deets get
and
lost.
Other times they screw up.
You mean like how she doesn't have her M there, and then
she will.
She
in the
has
next
it
page.
there and there.
Well, she went and got it real quick.
Well,
you will get your.
She gave a big speech
friend.
about how you got to keep your.
Hang on.
Crap! She gets
I forgot to draw mine on today.
There we go.
Because I got this prime real estate. I'm not gonna mess it up with a stupid.
I mean,
tattoo.
okay. Here's the thing. I'm hot.
Right.
And you're not.
This is the
humans,
flashback.
Yeah, and they all sat down and they're just like, look, this looks really bad for you guys if these X-Humes are out there running around killing humans.
Right.
We're going to have to put a stop to this. And they're like, we'll put a stop to it because if you start doing it, it's going to fuel
like
the
war.
X-Humes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're only going to show that they're right, so if you let us do it, we can try to quash it and like it'll be fine. And then
Plus, like, what are you gonna do anyway? You don't have powers.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
We'll build some sentinels.
It would be like if some Muggles decided to like fight Voldemort. Like, what are you gonna do?
And Hecate says,
Fart
like,
on him.
humans hunting mutants is not acceptable. Therefore, mutants must hunt the mutants. We have to police ourselves.
Yeah, they address like how dicey that can get.
And
Yeah.
one of the guys says, it sounds like the Hounds to me, which
Right.
was a team of like apocalypse-led mutants that hunted down other mutants. But it's like, no, it's not. We're hunting them for like to keep our people safe and
Yeah.
only the renegades. We're not just going out like willy-nilly.
Yeah,
They don't say willy-nilly though. That's dumb.
yeah.
Oh, because everything else they say in here is so
It's
awesome.
total awesome. Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Anyway.
So Hecate is giving the speech to the young mutants that have been brought into the XSE, and then, you know, they're going to train and learn about their powers. And some character named Fitzroy
Yeah.
is giving Bishop a real hard time. Calls him a gene joke, which is like a real bad slur
mean.
in the future.
Yeah, the other thing that ties these books together is the ridiculous like slang or
Yes. Yeah, they all have future slang.
Oh, man.
And it's all pertaining to their mutanthood.
And Hecate's like, hey, she singles out Shard and Bishop because she's like, hey, my old teammate Hancock died saving you too. You better be worth it.
Right.
And then Shard gives her some attitude back. It's like, if you were such good friends with him, how come you weren't there to help?
Yeah, and don't forget.
that is kind of fair.
Yes.
Like, why was he by himself?
Right? Shard's also cool because when she sees Hecate or whatever her name is, she sees who she wants to be.
Yeah, no, she idolizes her immediately.
But she's also cool because like when she gives her a little sass, she throws right back.
Yeah.
And then Hecate throws her powers on her.
Yeah.
And she's in the null light field. Basically, he gets in Hecate's face and is like, you ever do this to me again, I'll kill you.
That's right.
Which I don't think you should ever say to your mentor. Like, hey, you do this, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, I mean, like that's a little extreme, but it's also like don't mess with my sister.
But like they're in this crazy future world. It's cool.
it's a
And
world
also,
of extremes.
you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, she threw her powers on her.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
Right?
And Hecate really respects him for that. Like, hey, I threw you in my
stood
null
up to me.
field and you didn't even flinch. And not all adults can even do that.
Right?
So,
And then she walks away on her toes for no reason.
well, she's practicing her ballet.
Yeah.
And then the hologram of Shard has to tell him, like, you don't get it. I was always your little sister.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all anyone ever saw of me. And you constantly protecting me never helped with that.
Right.
Especially in front
Even
of this
though it
woman who
kinda
I
did.
idolized.
Yeah.
Well, did it? I mean, she died.
Well, the thing
it's not
is,
like she
like-
learned how to take care of herself.
No, that's true.
And then we get this weird panel, which I had no idea what was going on, where apparently her body is through his...
Yeah, because she's a hologram.
Because she's a hologram, which I had no clue. I was like, is that part of her power, or did they draw that really bad?
Right?
a little bit of both.
Here, another issue I have with this is like her ever-changing skin color.
Yes.
Oh, you mean when it's dark and then it's pink and then
no,
it's
she
dark
is
and then
straight
it's
up like
lighter?
a white person in that panel.
And how
Yeah.
he's kind of like lean.
That I think is a misprint. In
and then
colors
over
here.
there,
Yeah.
he's giant.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
the neck bigger than
Yeah.
his skull.
And I've seen both versions of Bishop, by the way. It's just peculiar to see them in the same scene.
So they're on patrol in the future.
I love it how
flashback.
we've established the lesson, right?
Yeah, here's the lesson.
We've already, so we're done with the future. But as long as we are in the future,
Why not
dear reader, let's tell you what happened afterwards.
Keep it there, because we don't want to show you apparently Bishop and Shard in the past, because that's the X-Men. This book's the XSE.
Yeah.
So we gotta.
We'll show you what happened.
So we'll still show you in the past, but it's their past, but it's our future.
Yeah, well, it's
the
also
phone.
not a hologram or a projection, so it's like, no, this is a real deal, what happened.
Yeah.
So they go.
And they're just talking about it, but we get to see it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's in the danger room. We don't
Who
know.
cares?
So Trace and Sure Shot are on a patrol with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's on lookout. And Bishop especially is, keeping a watch.
Well, he doesn't have pupils, so it's
It's easy.
Makes it real hard. Or he sees everything.
Right.
he can't turn that off.
And Sure Shot breaks her attention a little bit to yell at the kids because they're messing around. They're like, hey, you
what
all
happens?
should be on patrol and keeping your eyes peeled, much like Bishop did when she suddenly attacked.
By hand mouth.
Yeah, classic hand mouth.
Well, it's,
I don't know if his name is that.
No, it is now. He's got a lot of mouths to feed.
So Handmouth takes out Sure Shot, which, by the way, is my favorite name amongst all the fake names in this book.
Yeah.
she never misses.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Does
cool.
he eat her face?
It certainly looks like it. It also looks like he's just kind of like pushing her
Punching
face into
her?
his
I
armpit.
thought Well, it says crack, and I'm assuming like
he cracked her neck.
broke her neck, but
I
apparently
thought like maybe he like busted her nose.
Yeah,
bit her nose.
sometimes a good hard punch in the face in a comic book will be demonstrated using the onomatopoeia of crack. So who knows? It looks lethal.
But
Yeah.
it looks like she is dead because the only person that is left is Trace, and he's like, they got sure shot. Cadets, follow me.
Yeah,
and he's calling in backup.
She's dead. Yeah.
So Bishop picks up a stick and he's like, everyone circle up, everyone grab what you can and back to back, like, we have to fight our way out of this, stick as a team.
Right.
And Fitzroy's like, no, we gotta run.
And to be fair, in Fitzroy's defense, the guy with hand mouths probably is going to be scared off by the kids with sticks. Hand mouths.
Oh, that's right. Their powers haven't developed yet. It's just him.
And sticks.
True enough.
Fitzroy's,
But they have little hands.
that'll go in the mouths.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna punch you right in the mouth. One of them.
Oh, now
Ooh.
you bit my wrist off.
I mean, seemingly he's just a regular guy. It's just that his power is that he has mouths on his
I would
hands.
be terrified by that.
It's terrifying, but it's also like you have the strength of
So
a
they're
guy.
like, nom, 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 nom.
Yeah, that's horrifying. All right.
I'm also wondering if that's everyone's power because Fitzroy specifically says the M plates can suck the marrow out of your bones.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just one of many M plates.
It's good for your bones.
And like, that's all their powers. They all have hand mouths.
All right, let's finish this book.
Please.
Anyway,
I don't
This
want
has
to
been
be
an
in this
hour.
world
the
anymore.
book ends with Bishop backhanding Fitzroy and being like, no, we fight as a team or we die.
Fair enough, Bishop.
But then, oh no, the M plate has Shard and he's holding her up.
And maybe she'll do something.
And
not.
she calls out for Bishop to help her and he says Shard and the book is over.
Yeah.
And that's where we end it.
Yeah. So
90% of this book is in the future,
yeah.
which is the past.
But that's the only place where the XICE exists.
Right. Yeah, I
So
thought
it
that
has
was going to be
to.
a neat idea where like the XSE existed in Bishop's past, our future,
And
but
he
now that it's
creates
alternate,
it.
he creates a new XSE. Nah.
To be fair, they did warn you. It does say it's the first futuristic issue.
Yes, that's true.
I thought they meant like art style.
Totally.
No, they're all like that.
warned you.
No, they mean futuristic entirely.
By the way, this title was written by John Ostrander with pencils by Chris Gardner. Just as a little heads up for those of you who are looking or keeping score.
Yeah.
Who want that book?
The next title
want
is
that.
Gambit and the X-ternals, which I will take.
Okay. You're...
Written by Marvel mainstay and
Yeah.
X-Men / Marvel Comics architect Fabian Nicieza with pencils by Tony Daniel.
Right? Who
It's
just recently drew Batman with trunks?
Yes, he did. So if you're keeping score about when this episode came out, it's from San Diego Comic-Con. But yeah, this story is another alternate reality, but there's no flashbacks in this one. This takes place during the, at this point, running Age of Apocalypse, where Xavier's son Legion has gone back in time. He kills Xavier instead of Magneto like he planned, and so Magneto forms the X-Men, and Apocalypse takes over, and it's a big mess.
They're really easy to mistake each other.
Well, he jumps.
I
the
know.
waves. But this is
How does he jump?
he didn't lose his legs yet. Like, or his
legs.
his ability to walk. So Jubilee is on the run from the Infinite, which is one of several bad guy teams that are chasing after them. Or
Right.
really, they're not teams. Like a team, I imagine, is like 6 distinct characters that all like work together as a cohesive unit. This is just like stormtroopers.
This is a hodgepodge of mutant powers.
Right, exactly. So they're attacking Jubilee, and then alternate reality Strong Guy shows up and rescues her.
Yeah. Hunk.
And yeah, so they all have great fake versions of their names.
Yeah.
The formerly known as, I think, Sunspot? Or Sunspot. The Age of Apocalypse Sunspot rescues both of them from the Infinite, and then it turns out that they all work for Gambit's X-ternals, who are not X-Men. They are a team of thieves, or in Gambit's parlance, thieves.
Thank you.
Who are who work in conjunction with Magneto's X-Men, but certainly also not in direct lockstep, because in the Age of Apocalypse future, not only have Rogue and Magneto hooked up, but they have a kid.
Ooh.
And-
Named Charles.
Yeah, named Charles, much to the chagrin of Gambit.
Yeah, I think they're married in this
Oh,
one.
no, they're hooked up. Like,
yeah,
they're married.
but I'm just saying,
They're
like,
together.
it's a done deal,
It is.
basically. So he just left, which is fair.
So he
Like,
bails, and he creates his own team using the characters that nobody wanted to write about on the X-Men team.
yeah.
Except Jubilee.
Yeah.
Which
Well, Jubilee's on the X-ternals, not
Yeah,
on the
no,
X-Men.
but people want to write about her. She's Jubilee. No, come on, it's the 90s. She's awesome.
Well,
she's a better choice.
she's way cooler in this.
And she's a better choice for this because Jubilee's role typically is to introduce you to something. Because
Yes.
it's like I can understand her. I'm like a young person.
She has a
in
very
the 90s.
uncomplicated power. She's also like usually a fish out of water. It's a great ride-along character.
Yeah.
And she's great for explanation.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, she's like, wait a minute.
She will
wait a
tell you
minute.
what's going on.
Explain to me how this is going, because the way
Yeah.
I understand it, and then you're like,
So
thank
this is
you.
kind of a good call.
Yeah. So Jubilee and the rest of the team, Sunspot, Hunk, or whatever,
Yeah.
go to the X-ternals base of operations, which used to be, I think, Morlock tunnels, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And they use Jubilee immediately as a flashlight who illuminates their path. And who do they bump into but Magneto? And you're like,
Himself.
oh no!
And his pigtails.
Yeah, because Magneto is totally jacked and also has sweet 90s hair.
Yeah.
Magneto's like, what up? And he's clearly in like a battle stance. So he looks like he's going to kick their ass, and they immediately follow suit. And then Gambit reveals himself, and it turns out that, uncharacteristically, Gambit and Magneto are in league together.
They're teaming up.
And he invited Magneto to his fortress, or his sewer
His
base.
lair.
His lair.
Yeah,
And
because it's underground.
So
Yeah.
Gambit is finally revealed. And by the way, I love how they bury the lead with Gambit, because you know the book is called Gambit and the X-ternals. He's the leader. They keep referring to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are we going to get to Gambit? Halfway through the book, Gambit shows up.
You sold me with Gambit.
And I
don't know who the
kinda
externals
like-
are.
Right?
I kind of like this costume too.
Oh, no, this version of Gambit is pretty baller.
Kind of dig it.
I like it because it's basically just scraps. But
Yeah.
It's
He really rocks it, and he lost the
headstock.
headscarf. Thing. Like I like it.
But he has to wear something up there. So
yeah.
he's got like
well, he's
got
to keep those
bandana.
long locks out of his face.
That's true.
Yeah.
Also, this is pre-Casada, so everybody smokes in this book.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Gambit would have smoked no
To be
matter
fair,
what.
it's the future. Who cares?
Right. What are you
It's
keeping
real
your
bad,
health for?
yeah.
Okay, you understand. I could get like melted down into a gene pool so that they can extract my power and then put it into someone else like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get cancer?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh no.
Yeah.
So
Gonna get X cancer.
then we take a break from what's actually interesting and fun to meet the Kerbage Squadron,
Yeah.
who have their own like infighting and their own little like power plays, and
And in the
It's
future,
just their leader. Their leader's just like, hey, you idiots, you're supposed to help me move up in the world.
exactly, you guys are not working hard enough. I'm trying to make good and get in on like the inner circle, and I'm not gonna do that and then bail on you and leave you employeeless, jobless in Greenland.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what this guy is. I'm like, cool.
Because like there's no motivation for them. He's by the way not like burying the lead. He's not like Scar. Like we're all gonna join Magneto.
no, he's like, no, you help me.
You help me. I'll advance, and then that's it.
We'll
Then
get
step
into,
3 is
we'll
over.
get into high society, all of us.
He doesn't even say that.
No,
he's
he's
just
just
like, I'm
like,
just gonna go.
I need to climb the ranks.
So like
You're trash.
right, and so you've got to use your trash powers to make me look good, and like I can't wait anymore. You got to do it like now. So you got to like capture,
Yeah, because like there's people there he wants to like.
impress.
Yeah, and
so,
he says his own name.
Yeah, Julio Esteban Richter. If you can imagine his super villain name, it's Richter. He's like, okay, so you guys will defeat and capture Gambit for me now, like yesterday. Like go now and go get him, so
And
that I can.
they
like,
also have awesome eye tattoos.
they do have some eye tattoos. Are they as awesome as the XSEs?
No.
Agreed. So
Hang on, you know what I really like about this scene? Not this scene, about this page, is you get to see Voodoo and Maul, Jubilee and Hunk in the sewers hanging out together.
yeah, I mean they definitely do have the same.
How could you make that mistake?
I think Jim Lee is that uncreative. So the Magneto leads them to a special like place they need to break into, and he's like, "Look, if I need to." The idea is that Magneto needs something really important to turn the tide for the
He says he
war.
needs a jewel.
He does. He needs a jewel.
It's like, really?
So he needs them to steal it.
That's
Yes.
the MacGuffin.
So he's like, "You guys are the best thieves I know. You're gonna go.
You're
steal
like a
this jewel."
guild of them.
Right? A whole. Guild.
You're really the only thieves I know.
It's really you're the only people I know outside the people that I hang out with every day.
And I'm
I
not
can't
sending
tell him.
Rogue.
No.
Because if I send Rogue and she dies, who am I gonna bang?
Right?
Well, no, I can't send my wife to get the engagement gem. I'm gonna get her.
So Magneto wants the Guild or the X-Ternals to steal a special jewel that he needs to turn the tide of the war.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, sure. So they go and they help him and they break in to this high. It's actually really simple. The security to get into like this really important place. Looks about as complicated as the security to get into the X-ternals lair, which also looks uniformly like the same exact locations.
But no, that's the point. Like, I think Magneto, because remember he like shook down, or he helped that librarian who told him, I think, about this like secret, like where it was and how to get into it. So I think this is like one of those places you're not supposed to know it exists.
Right.
And so like they figure it out and happens to be in the sewers, and
where
they live in the sewers anyway. So like,
so it was very clandestine.
Yeah.
I need thieves. I need sewers. I need thieves who operate near sewers or in them in order to steal something that is also located in the sewers.
Right.
So they do, and they break in, and what it turns out to be is like a cool trophy room.
Well, it's Apocalypse's like private library.
Yeah. Well, it's also like where he keeps like doomsday weapons and all sorts of important things he doesn't want anybody else to touch or know about. So they break in, and it's basically just a fun hodgepodge of like cool stuff.
And like pieces of planets
right?
or something.
Or whatever. It doesn't matter. But like it's cool stuff that you're supposed to be like, oh, it's impressive. And if poor Tony Daniel had more time, he probably would have drawn it kind of like, what's it called? The Hulk's lair in Future Imperfect, where it's like, ooh, what's that? What's this? It's like all little Easter eggs.
But even if he had, all of this narration would have
completely overlaid any of it, so it's not even like it's fun to look at. So then finally, the agents of the impossible to remember the name of group of douchebags.
No, the Magi show up first.
Yeah, well, Richter sends the Magi, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he tells the Magi where they are.
Yeah.
And then the Infinite come later.
Right. So, yeah, because Richter sells the Magi, which a play on Jamie Madrox, who are the Multiple Man, so he can make multiples of himself. This is that version of them.
Yeah.
So the Magi show up. It's just a bunch of dudes in cool robes. It's ring wraiths. They show up and they attack them. And then the Infinite come shortly behind.
Yeah.
But the idea is that the Magi are supposed to come in and, like, the idea is supposed to be like, it's going to look like a bust gone wrong, but at the end of it, you will have captured Gambit and brought him to me so that I can use him as a chip to get higher up in the ranks.
Yeah.
It's a fun little espionage.
Or it's like the Magi, or he's like, they'll probably fail, so like,
that'll
just slow him down, so like, I'll get there.
Yeah. So the Magi fight Gambit, the X-ternals, and Magneto. And
it doesn't go well for them.
It does not go well for them, and then they have like a breath to actually like go over their plan, and the plan is like, okay, so the jewel I need you to get, it's actually like not in here, it's in outer space. So what is in here is
it's a helmet.
It's a helmet that one of your members can use that will teleport everybody into space.
But we don't have a character that can teleport people.
Yes, we do. There's a whole subplot, by the way,
about Lila.
About Lila, and about like how Gambit moved on, and even Magneto and Gambit have like a cool bro moment. Or a broman, if you will.
Because like she calls him lover.
Yeah, and Gambit's like, and Magneto's like, lover? You mean you got over Rogue? And he's like, yeah, I had to. What do you're gonna kill me if I try and make a play for her.
Yeah, he's like, what kind of gentleman would I be?
Right, but you know.
But he's just like, but if you die, I am on that like white on rice.
That's right. And who would stop him? Certainly not Rogue. So. Then it turns out, and I think Magneto's the one who reveals that like she's actually a secret mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he knew.
Yeah.
Well, because she knew, and like, because she didn't like thing, and then like, but her powers were so extreme that her brain was shut it down. It was like, no,
just turn
can't
it off.
handle it. So she just thought she was a human.
Right. So he's like, so we're gonna use, and also they have a doctor that they
It's a librarian.
The librarian that Magneto interrogated.
Yeah.
He also brought him with him, and he's gonna use this special helmet that will allow her to unlock her mutant ability to teleport people across time and space. Not time, just space, I'm sorry, I should say that, because I don't want anybody to think that they could go back in time and stop the Age of Apocalypse from happening. Because as far as you know, it's never going to end, even though obviously it's in an alternate future. So,
even though the only way to do that is with the Omicron crystal.
Right, so she activates her powers.
Which explodes her clothes off.
Which of course,
sweet!
That way it's awesome and rad. We know she's fine because we wouldn't find her sexy if she were also dead. So she loses her clothes, and that's when the Infinite show up.
Yep.
And then we get another cool fight scene because it's like, okay, Fabian Nicieza is a classic comic book writer. He's like, I know exactly how much exposition you need until you are done. So we need a fight scene.
Yeah.
He is Michael Bay.
Right.
He's like, we need an exposition dump and then a fight scene.
And instead of like lens flares, we're gonna have pieces of clothes flying off.
That's true. Or big sweeping shots of the American flag. So we have a shot, so we get a fight scene, then we get some more exposition, and we get a little detail about what the next 5 issues of this series are going to be. It's going to be
space.
Gambit and X-Ternals being Starjammers.
Yeah.
So then the other team shows up. Even though it makes no sense for there to be two different bad guy teams that are going to kick their ass, there are two different bad guy teams, so they can defeat one, have some conversation, and then fight the other. So the other team shows up, they fight. This also, of course, needs to create urgency, so they need to like get out of there. And so they activate.
Yeah, because Magneto's like, Gambit, don't waste time fighting them. You need to protect Lila. Yes. I'll take care of them because I'm Magneto.
Right, because I'm unstoppable.
Hello, Magneto.
Yeah, I could have sent anybody, but I went myself.
I have a cape
and sweet ponytails.
Most powerful mutant in the world, I think.
Except for Apocalypse.
We don't talk about him, but still.
Yep.
But he's an ass.
Pretty sure I can handle this. Oops.
So Lila activates her powers, and like both the X-ternals and I think the Infinite.
No, just the one, just Richter.
One. Yeah, just Richter. Yeah. That's right.
Like all of the X-ternals, except and Magneto doesn't go, and the Librarian doesn't go.
Nope. Just the
and like
X-ternals
Richter's
and
like,
Richter.
yeah.
He leaps into the time tunnel or the space tunnel, and so. The X-ternals are now in space, and of course they can now, because otherwise they would be unfettered. They would have no conflict.
Right.
So, I like that Richter is so goal-oriented.
I know he's gonna.
He's like, well, I'm gonna leap into space after you because I have to capture Gambit and the Externals. It's like, all right, I have you. Oh crap, I'm in space.
Why don't you just like? Well, you.
Yeah, but then if he didn't go, how would we get that sweet panel of Magneto screaming so we could see all of his dental work?
This is true.
It is really well done.
It's a well.
And as far as we can tell, there has been no dental work.
Right.
It looks pretty good.
That's good dental work.
Yeah, this is pre those veneers. So, so anyway, Magneto's like, well, I hope it works out, and I guess we'll blow up this building.
Oh, by the way, Librarian, sorry, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Because like the Librarian's like, I'm dead. You know that, right?
Right. They're not gonna let me walk away from this.
Librarian.
Yeah.
So the Librarian blows up the building. He's just like, and you know what? Screw you, Apocalypse.
Yeah. He's like, screw this and screw you. And Magneto's like, cool, well, I'll go. Yeah. So then they leave. And you get a little fun X fact about like the Age of Apocalypse and the world you're looking at.
X facts!
But who cares?
It screams it at you.
But
I like that it doesn't matter because we're not going to be referring to that map because we're going to be in space.
Right. Just in case
well, in case you, look, maybe I want to keep up with what's happening out there.
Yeah. This is just one chapter of a myriad of titles that are coming out.
Can I ask something that has nothing to do with this except for one character?
Yeah.
Have they ever done a story about like Gambit and Star-Lord in space?
I've never seen that. No.
Because like, where's that? Like just a buddy bro book about the two of them. Thieves.
Yep. They just constantly steal from each other.
Yeah.
Or like maybe trying to one-upping each other and like trying to like nail different chicks.
Yes.
And, like.
Oh yeah, and once they bump into the Starjammers, that'd be great.
This is written by Tom Payer with pencils by Humberto Ramos and inks by Jimmy Palmiotti.
So the book is set in Halo City, which is more popularly known as X-Nation because
mutants
you
live there?
couldn't figure this out. Yeah, it's literally where all your clones, your degens, your rad victims, your mutants, all of them, that's where they live. They live in this
ghetto.
I guess.
No, it's like New York City. It's a haven. Like, everyone mingles.
And it looks like the Fifth Element. So you got that going for you. And we... in this book, there's like all these levels of like teams that you don't care about at all. And so we meet our protagonist, who I can't even remember the name of. It's Wolf.
W-U-L-F-F.
So we meet Wolf.
The extra F is for...
Wolf is like making a run for it because here's the thing. He joined a gang and then he left the gang. And they're like, but we're your family.
If you leave us, that means that you're dead.
That's said a lot in this book. It's all about family. You know I love books about family. This is not. They just say it a lot.
Subverts expectations and it's a book about family.
If we say it enough, it becomes true.
It's that, yeah. So they...
You call this here and that down there. Family?
Presumably he's underground.
It's the 29 universe. There's different subtle levels between like when you're at the lowest level, you are basically at like ground level. Like there's
like they built the cities on top of each other?
Basically.
Right. Like Futurama with New York.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, I guess. But the art's so horrible, it's really hard to tell where he is anyway, so it doesn't matter. So Wolf's trying to get away, and he's just like, oh, I don't want to have to use my powers, I want to destroy you. And they're all like, get him! And like they're all like, the rest of the gang's egging Dorian on to get him, and like Dorian's like, you have to come back, and blah, blah, blah.
Who's Dorian?
He's the leader of the gang.
I know, I'm just saying, like, we gotta establish
I mentioned that before.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Oh.
And they're on, like, sweet flying motorcycles.
Right?
That's cool.
I guess. Is it? Is it cool? Essentially, like, you know, like, Dorian's hurt because he's leaving. whatever. And then Wolf is saved by this dude in like a flying space car thing. It literally doesn't matter what it is.
He's saved.
He's saved by Uncle Morphine, who's gonna take him someplace, and you're just like, cool. And he takes him to do.
Uncle Morphine sounds really nefarious. I'm just gonna introduce my good friend Uncle Morphine, and then I'm gonna introduce you to my good friend Uncle Blindfold.
Yeah, and Uncle Tushy's puzzle basement. And then we go to like an Xavier shelter, which is like a church, not church kind of thing. Uncle Morphine brings. I hate Wolf saying that. Which, by the way, Uncle Morphine has like a priest collar.
Yes. Well,
but he's also a politician.
Yeah, it's in keeping with the nun
He's
theme.
he's too many things.
No, I'm everywhere.
He's a creepy guy. He's into politics, but like those are separate. Yep. He picks up kids on the road. He's also is a priest. He's doing everything.
Yeah, he's.
Hey, I got my fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah,
right.
And I like pie.
He talks to Cerebra, who's like looking for like the one. Basically, they're looking for like. The person who's going to like change the world for them, and like so he brings like some young kid.
So he's always bringing kids to the church.
Is this the one?
Right? And they're like, that's not the one, man. It's never the one.
And like she's like, you're weird, and like clearly just want to further your political agenda. He's just like, I could just take him with me. He doesn't even have the kid anymore. So it's like, no, you already gave up the kid. And there's like scary nuns here. So like they run, Wolf runs into or like is introduced to Sister Nicholas.
Yeah.
Who is like is a nun of some sort, I guess, who is scanning him and also like cleansing him of parasites and all sorts of weird things by putting him in like a future machine.
Yep.
And then they give him new clothes or like his old clothes,
which are just literally a uniform for his cool new team.
But it's not a uniform.
They
call it a uniform.
They do, but it's just
they're
a coat.
all wearing different things.
Yeah,
right. Just like the X-Men.
They give him different shoes and pants and whatever. Who cares? And she's just like, whatever. And then we meet his new family, who's like December, and it doesn't matter.
it's the team.
Literally, it doesn't matter.
We're a new family now.
We're X-Nation.
Like here's what's hilarious about this. So she brings him in and says, "Children, meet Wolf." And then like immediately December's like, "Hey, baby," and he's like, "That's hot," because her.
But she's cold,
right? Yeah. So ha. But then what's his name? Uproar like uses his powers and gets really big, and they're like and like destroys the room.
Yep.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh! Like we got to like get rid of this before the nuns find out."
The room's destroyed.
She just literally dropped him off.
Right, she's there. If she heard any commotion, she'll be here any second. She does not show up.
No, she doesn't care.
But like they act like literally it's almost like this page is wrong. Like it's just in the wrong place. And so their plan is to just leave. So Twilight's like, I'm getting out of here. And so she makes a bubble because she can use this like bubble thing to get everybody out, or her at least herself. And they're like, we're all coming with you. So they all
pile in.
They all hilariously pile in the bubble and like
this is madcap.
Like butts are in people's faces, and it's just like, we're teenagers, derp, and they leave. And then we just go somewhere else, and we're like, there's this dude who's just like, Willow, why did you run away from me? He's an overly developed and a character in a sea of overly developed characters.
Well, we want to make Archangel, but again.
Right?
And a bad guy, maybe.
But he's also like the Crow, because there's all these birds behind him.
And he's also like really morose.
Right, there's like birds behind him, but then there's like a special metallic bird that is important to him. And he's pining over Willow, who's one of the other characters who was in the shelter for whatever.
Yeah.
And he's just like, why would you leave me? Blah, blah, blah.
He's creepily obsessing over this like three-dimensional photo he has of her.
Right.
It's like he gets a call that's like, stop looking at your creepy photo.
Yeah.
You play with your hologram again?
No.
And like, of course, because he's a bird guy, his name's Avian.
Yeah.
See, because it's
theming.
It's clever like that.
Well, Razorwing's also there, and Razorwing's his robot bird that he loves.
Yeah, right? And like he takes orders from some guy with a face tattoo, not an M.
No, this is more like Mike Tyson's tattoo.
This is a bad choice tattoo.
Yeah, that was just like a mistake.
Yeah, like you got too drunk one night, and you went, I'm gonna have that one.
This is my look now.
Every book in the future has face tattoo.
Yeah,
that's true. Another theme.
Exactly. Yep.
Name all the themes that this episode had in the comments down below.
So like he's also like Avian's working with Herod, who's the guy with the face tattoo, to like work up like find Messiah or Mutant Messiah candidates because they're looking for the Mutant Messiah. So I guess he thinks Willow might be it.
Right.
I don't know. All I know is
he just misses her.
He looks ridiculous
in a book of nothing but ridiculous looking
like
people.
I'm just like, no, you stand out. And by the way,
he does stand out.
This is how far we are through the book, right? There is a preview page for the next issue.
You're sold.
Just in case you don't make it to the end.
What's the name of that next one?
Detention 2099.
Let me tell you something. You're already reading this book. You're halfway through. You're like, oh my god, this is my favorite book of all time. Oh, hell yes, the next issue. Yeah, please whet my appetite a little more about what's coming.
Right. So they all the kids go to a nightclub / milk bar. Because there's like, it's literally where you have milk and you put this thing on your forehead and it
get like high?
Gets you high.
Or I think it gets you high or drunk, one of them.
One of them is
they act like it's high because they're like, look at my hands.
It's totally, and the other guy's just like guzzling
and like
milk.
Willow's like touching other people's faces. Like, it's like,
your face feels like
your face is like my face, but it's not.
Which is like a pretty accurate depiction of people who are high right now.
Right? So like,
I'm sorry, we can't just have them drink.
No, that'd be underage
drinking. Absolutely not.
Well,
we can get them high.
We can get them totally messed up, but they have to be drinking milk.
It's not just that, because it's the future. So like, who
it's
knows
innocuous.
what to expect?
Right.
Woo-hoo!
You're like, milk is like, what?
Up is
milk?
down, and down is up.
So I wouldn't just keep that thing on me all the time?
It's just,
I
it's
mean,
fine.
You need to function.
And like, look at Wolverine, not Wolverine up here.
Well, Easter egg for you.
Yeah, it's not though.
It's not Wolverine. It's not.
So then like, there's like these other characters in the bar, one of which looks like our main character.
Yes.
But I guess is not our main character.
It is not.
But it looks like our main character, and they're
just
like
him.
they're like, oh, are these the ones we're looking for? Like, oh, and this other chick whose butt's hanging out, it's just like, we should make the call. And I'm like, do I need to, is this,
Yeah, who are these people?
what does this matter?
Are they like friends of theirs that they're meeting here? Or are they like turncoats? Are they like informants? They're informants.
Right? And so like Wolf, like, everybody's like having a good time and having fun, and like Wolf like loses it, he like lashes out because like he doesn't know how to have fun, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's just
the
like,
Wolverine of the team.
Yeah, or he is and he isn't. He's just like, everybody's like, giving up control, and I can't do that. Just go away.
Because if I do, I'll kill somebody.
Leave me alone. I'm out of control. Ooh.
By the way, the big guy who drinks milk.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, he is drinking. He's in the process of drinking milk. It looks like he's drinking like the same carton. Like, it just looks like time doesn't pass for him.
No, it doesn't. He's got
a bubble that whatever her name is made around him.
Yeah,
he's
so
going real slow.
So like literally then like they all just have a good time and like they get over it.
Oh yeah, no, like things are gonna go bad. One of the the most responsible
No, like
guy.
initially, like literally right here in this page before they actually even do anything, like, before they actually fight anybody, like they're all just like, oh, we're having a good time, and like, oh, I can't hear anything because of the music, and I'll zap up, or ha 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 ha, are we having fun?
Yeah.
Now let's fight.
Yeah, but not each other.
No, because like the guy, like, the Wolf's gang shows up, the Wild Boys, and
so I'm guessing those informants called the Wild Boys?
They must have, or
Yeah.
they called someone else, and the Wild Boys
because like
accepted
the Wild
call.
Boys are like all of 4 people and Goliath from Gargoyles, and like it's like I guess they have like a huge influence, even though it doesn't seem like it.
I mean, this place is Shitsville, so like it's not hard to take over.
I guess. So then like
Hey, I want to be mayor of Craptown. Here's your badge.
right?
And your hat.
Wolf's like, no, like you just let me go. It's fine. Don't help us. And they're like, but you're one of us now because we laughed in the last panel.
We drank milk.
we drank milk together.
He didn't drink any of that milk, and you know it.
Uproar's drinking milk. At one point, he sees you spilled by milk, and then one of them says, "Well, don't
To cry over
it.
spilled milk.
Get out of
Da
here."
da 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 da. Derp.
Fart.
So like literally like December tries to attack and like she does, but like Wolf's like, stop it, I can handle this on my own, it's fine. And then
Well, it is a long dispense.
all that matters is just this pages of people fighting and yelling at each other. And like, by the way, the Goliath guy who has like leathery wings, his name's Warbird.
Yes.
You kind of missed the mark on that one.
A little bit.
What? No.
Yeah, the other guy's a bird theme.
Yeah.
He should be Warbird.
Right? No. And then there's like this Pokemon who's fighting with them, which is cool. Like in the future, we still have Pokemon.
That's good to know.
Thank God.
But like,
Not hard
these are legit on the street Pokemon.
Right? So look, they fight and they win.
Yeah.
And
defeat
then-
the wild
and then,
one.
like-
How wide does his mouth get when he's yelling?
Oh, the widest. Like he's gonna he's a python. He's gonna swallow someone whole. Just.
Yep.
It's gonna take him like a week or 2 to digest it, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it. So they defeat him, and then they're like, "Oh, this is like we're being superheroes. Like, look at the cops, like taking them away. Oh man, this is cool. We all really did it. We're a team now. We're a team. We just met you. It's cool. We're
Yeah,
bonded.
we're family
Let's
now."
all punch each other." and like freaking razor wing avian's birds there, and he's just like, oh,
Willow.
It's even better from the back.
I'm so glad I could see you.
We didn't even go into like what Avian says, because he says some hilariously like emo crap. But we're not going to.
No, okay.
Read the book yourself. You can
find
find any
out.
quarter bin.
You can find out. They could just give it to you.
We have 3 copies of X-Nation.
We'll just send you one. So then, like, because it's like they're a team and they're teenagers and they escape the thing, that okay, now we gotta get back in.
We gotta sneak in. Now we're friends.
Everybody quiet. Everybody stop laughing.
Twilight, why don't you just port us back in with your power?
No, I can't.
If you did, you'd port us back into the room we destroyed and bailed on, which is why we left in the first place.
Then how could we be all like, because like literally, it's just literally them all like yelling "shut up" at each other.
And then Sister Nick
Nicholas
shows up
with her like 2 guns, and she's just like, "Do you children have any idea what time it is? Oh, they're in trouble."
And you're like, what? Is she gonna shoot them? Is she a murderer?
Yeah, it's murder time.
What? Like, what kind of disciplinarian is that?
Hey, at least we know they're all gonna get detention.
Yes, thanks to the handy-dandy preview in the middle of a damn book. It's also a self-aggrandizing, self-indulgent backup about all the characters, about all the effort that went into creating all the characters.
Yep.
There's one point where they're talking about, like, this character came together right away. I thought it was going to be really hard to do, and they just immediately nailed it right out of the gate. And I'm like, I don't even remember half these characters' names.
Nope.
I don't even know, and I know what 1/10 of their powers are.
Nope.
I couldn't orient myself in space for most of this book. Things happen, they're like upside down. I'm like, is there no gravity on this planet? Like, I don't understand anything that happens in this comic except for the fact that they're trying to establish that this is like a Gen X clone book, but in a future I don't care about.
No, they're literally trying to make it like an Image book. So like, I read this.
Which, by the way, he will bail on this title and just go work for Image.
I was like kind of excited because I thought the book was over and this is a backup. We don't normally read.
You're like, this book's really short.
I was like, oh, thank God, I
You're
couldn't handle
halfway
it.
through.
And I literally turned the page and I was like, oh, damn it. I hate this book.
So let's jump into it.
Like,
We have to ask ourselves, based on the criteria herein, which one's the good, which one's the bad, and which one's the ugly? I guess we'll start with the best. Which one's the best book? It's Gambit, the X-ternals.
It looks great.
It looks good.
Great.
And
it has a story that makes sense.
It's a cohesive story. It takes place in a future or an alternate present that I actually care about.
That they're all in.
They're all in at the same time.
It is an X-Men book through and through. There's drama. There's needless like plot things that are going on. Whatever.
Yep.
But you can follow it from point A to point B.
Also, the art is easily the best out of the 3.
And it's funny. Part of me, like for a second, was like, maybe I'm judging this book too harshly. Maybe my issue is I don't know these characters. You know what?
I don't know any of these characters.
I know like
I mean,
a couple of characters in this.
And you know pretty much like 1 or 2
and I
in this.
super didn't enjoy that either.
No, XSE was really like rough.
It was boring.
It was just boring, and you know, because
nothing happens.
There's a story in here, and I get it. And there's a little lesson about like giving freedom to people that you let die. But like this one actually has a story in it. It's fun, and the art is the best out of all of it. Nicieza, of course, like he's a consummate storyteller. He's like, I got this. He probably wrote it in his sleep, and it's still better than either of these books. So this one's the good. The bad is XSE, and I think it's earned it. It is just bad.
It's a bad book.
It's a bad comic. It's not fun.
It's bad. The
I'm
art is
also
not
interested.
good.
By the way, just to
the
go back to this.
The story is not good.
I'm also excited to see them in space. I was like, oh, I might actually read more of this.
Yeah.
So,
and all you're gonna get is more of their history,
which has already happened.
What the XSE happened, and you're not gonna get the XSE like in your timeline.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, they should resurrect the XSE like now. Like bring in like the XSE. It would be more interesting than anything they did from the original timeline. This is just, it was boring. The art was inconsistent. The writing was just like hacky.
Yeah.
And obvious.
It really, this really just suffers from it was setting up too much.
Yeah.
And like
you only have 4 issues.
Right. It's like all of these books you can say like you don't know where they're gonna go, but like literally this, I'm like, I'm not even sure what you're trying to do with this book. Like this is like I don't know where this is gonna go because that's what you wanted me to feel at the end of it. This is like I don't know where this is gonna go because you didn't know what the book was trying to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it doesn't matter where it goes because your future has changed.
It's already happened. Yeah, it's over.
But that's Bishop's whole thing. Like,
what?
I gotta change the future. I didn't. Did I? I don't know.
Right, yeah. No,
I'll try again.
It happened. It doesn't matter to the characters who are in the story, and like, who cares? It's not happening to anybody I give a crap about. X-Nation is so terrible.
It really is.
I think I know we do this a lot.
You're gonna nominate it for the wrong box because that's what I was
gonna do.
gonna
It goes in the wrong box. Ben, do you think so too?
No.
Well, I do.
And so do I, and it's majority rules.
It is.
This is the worst X-Men book I've ever read in my life.
It really is. Like
it's not even an X-Men book.
We've read books that were like schlocky and ridiculous and over the top for X-Men and stuff.
Yeah.
This is just...
It's unforgivable.
This is unforgivable.
It's just stupid.
It's stupid. I don't know what's happening. I don't care about anyone in it.
I'm pandering to kids.
I'm not even given time to care.
No.
About anybody.
No.
You know what this is? This is literally just, this is a kid doing a backflip, trying to impress somebody. This is like, look at me and what I can do. But you've actually not done anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's indulgent and trite and crappy.
And like, I don't like the art even remotely.
No, I do like Humberto Ramos now, but I don't. But he had some growing pains.
Yeah, and
these
like
faces are terrible.
The faces are terrible. The panel layouts aren't strong. Most of the time, you don't know what's happening in the panels.
Yeah, well, it's funny because they're
especially during that last fight scene they had.
Oh, even the egregious one for me is the milk scene because I couldn't even orient myself in space and time. I was like, I don't even know when this is happening, where it's happening, or to whom it's happening. So, yeah, no, okay, so I like Humberto Ramos' art. You could tell that he is trying to, like, break barriers and, like, be original. And he's like, you need to adhere to some kind of style and some kind of rules of how the story layout happens, or else you will completely lose the reader. And then, like, you can play with convention and whatnot, like, as you understand the craft. But, like, if you're out of the gate, like, here's me, and I could draw cool-looking things that are evoking a little bit of an Eastern style that they were trying to, like, capitalize on, it just didn't work. Nothing worked. I don't care about any of the characters, and everybody looks stupid.
It missed the mark because they're clearly trying to set up this like heavier plot. They didn't go into that at all. They spent too much time dealing with something that really doesn't matter and like trying to establish the bonds of the team without actually giving something that they could actually establish the bonds of the team with.
Yeah.
It's
no,
like
they're teenagers. We bonded now. There we go.
This is all. This is entirely on the surface, and it doesn't even look good.
It doesn't.
Like if it looked great, and you're like, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
This is just a stupid cash grab.
Yeah, but we need the Messiah. The Mutant Messiah.
No.
What?
I really, like, I hated this book.
I hated it. I couldn't.
This is the second book I read. This is the last book I had to read, which I didn't even know what was going to happen. So I'd read this first. It was boring. Then I read this, and I was like, I don't think I can read another book right now.
Right.
Like, I was so, like, turned off to comics after reading this that I was like...
So kill your interest in comics.
But I was like, at least I've got Gambit. Okay.
Right. And it was pretty good.
And it looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately I started with Gambit. And then I went to XSE.
So did I.
Then I went to 2099.
No, I was reading XSE before I fell asleep, and I just fell asleep.
I had the hardest time getting through XSE in terms of just being like, is this like this? I just couldn't wait to get out of the world. But that I was like, are we done?
Right? Is this almost done?
There's almost so much narration in XSE.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It's just,
there's more narration than talking.
Because you could tell they really believe in this story. They're like, I
yeah,
have something to say.
And you know what?
And
like,
but who cares?
But like, it is a story.
Yeah.
And like.
And that ain't.
This is not.
So there you have it, everybody. Wow. Not only did we find a clear good, bad, and ugly, but we also majority ruled into the wrong box. I didn't deliberately do that. I'd never read this. It was just, I was like, hey, let's try it out. And it's got this fun cover.
Yeah.
Woof.
And it's a team, and you're like, hey,
because it's wolf. I woofed.
Yeah.
Anyway,
no.
So that was it here on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Next week, we'll have another fun theme.
Remember, we do this for you.
That's right. So we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next time with another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I am Sal.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Tiffany.
See you next week.
Bye.